This old press needs a special chain.
Kids and that dog.
Tell it to the judge.
To scare Scooby away so he could use it as a hiding place for all the gold he stole.
Sorry I had to sneak up on you kids. I was just following the trail of the monster.
Yes, and he would have taken the blame if it weren't for these pesky kids.
Like, yeah, and a pup named Formula on his own dog biscuits.
Bah! And I would have done it too if it hadn't been for you pesky kids and that puppy. He ate my costume!
And I'd have gotten away with it, too, if it hadn't been for you pesky kids and that puppy.
What I'd like to know is what happened to the stolen comics?
And nobody could! And I would have gotten away with it, too, if...
We know if it weren't for us pesky kids and a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Ah, Manny, you say the sweetest things. This Boogity Bones costume from the theater was the perfect disguise to scare people away from the house.
Yeah, and... Like it would have worked, too, if it hadn't been for us pesky kids.
And that puppy.
Hey, how'd you know I was gonna say that?
Like that...
Mr. Dayton.
I could have made $1 million if it weren't for these pesky kids and their pup. And you were gonna fire me. Come on, Mr. Curator.
Formation of diamonds.
You mean there's diamonds in our mine?
Yeah, lots of them. And they would have been mine if it weren't for you pesky kids. Oh, yeah. And your puppy, too.
Bugs.
Yuck.
Yeah, and you twerps ruined everything.
Oh, I get it. He wanted to scare people away so no one would see the dolphins.
Yeah, and like he lied about not being able to skateboard to keep people from suspecting him.
That's right. And that trap door we saw in the cave leads to our shed. Good job, kids. I'll take it from here. I don't think that's a good idea. Do you?
Like, no way, babe. I'll grab these two bogus dudes and jam back to FBI headquarters. I hope you like jail, dudes, because that's where you're going for a long, long time.
Like you mean Sandy Sneakers was working with Al?
And that gnarly Charlie is really an undercover FBI agent?
Totally, dude and dudette.
And they both wanted us to believe that Red was the monster.
Yeah, and we would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those pesky kids.
And don't forget their awesome pup, Scooby-Dude.
Who cares about the stupid trees? I was gonna make millions, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you pesky kids. Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. And that puppy.
Come on, buddy, let's go.
More money than building a hotel.
Like, yeah, and he wanted to scare everyone away so he could keep it.
And I'd have made a mint if it weren't for you pesky kids and that puppy. Oh, yeah, and your termite, too.
That's life, bub.
Yeah, he was supposed to keep you kids on the wrong trail. And it would have worked, too, if you pesky kids and that puppy hadn't fouled things up.
That's right.
You wanted Stinkweed to look so bad that the studio would have to stop making Stinkweed movies.
Uh-huh, and you'd have all the money from those robberies.
Yeah, and I would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for you pesky kids. And that pup, Scooby of the jungle.
Come on, Thorn, your next role is gonna last 10 to 20 years.
Ashamed of yourself giving us real dog catchers a bad name.
I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for these nice but troublemaking kids. Oh, yes, and their lovable but pesky puppy.
Thank you.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for that superhero and his super puppy.
The truth.
She was a great secretary.
His jacket made it look like he was flying. But what happened to my ultra-cute buddy?
I'm right here.
Oh, buddy, you're safe. Who's he?
I'm the man who started it all.
He's Purvis Parker, the dude of rock and roll.
Wow!
I didn't really disappear. I just wanted some peace and quiet.
You mean you're really not a ghost? Darn! I guess I won't have a story.
You know I'm a big fan of Buddy's. I never miss a show.
I don't blame you.
And after the ghost appeared at Buddy's last concert, I followed him back to Parker Place.
Well, I would have ruined Buddy if it weren't for Purvis and you kids. And their puppy.
Thank you.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for these kids and their puppy. He plucked my costume.
Sorry.
Hey, that was a great piece of investigative reporting you kids did.
Doing better than me. I knew I'd be the #1 student with her out of the way. That's gross. And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for her friends and that puppy.
Like, that's right, because when you mess with Velma...
You mess with us.
That way he'd make all the money.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you nosy kids. And your clowning canine. That's me.
You'd buy the place real cheap.
And I would have gotten away with it, too, if it hadn't been for you kids and those 2 lame superheroes.
Like all in a day's work.
You have his nose.
Well, what do you know?
Yes, and I would have gotten away with it, too, if not for that tunneling puppy.
Let's see.
Yeah, so she could sell it in her shop and make a lot of money.
Yes, and I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for these 2.
Jinkies, I'm proud of you both.
Merchandise he could sell.
I love my plunger.
Like he would have made a fortune.
Nah. I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you kids and that stupid puppy.
Sorry.
Ew. Anyone who crawls into a slimy snail suit deserves to go to jail.